Ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids across our beloved empire, welcome to today's video, where we are going over all the Zetas in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes ranked from best to worst. Thank you all so much for your unending loyalty to our empire. You guys are always absolutely amazing. We got a lot to talk about, and thank you for the overwhelming support you've been giving to this series. Last time we made this video, we got over 3 billion likes. Hopefully you guys still keep enjoying all that there is to offer with this video right here. We got a lot to talk about today. Although we technically are supposed to do this quarterly, well, it's been 6 months since the last time we made this video, so let's go ahead and roll some gameplay for the audience here. What has happened since the last time we made this video ranking all the Zetas? Well, a couple of things. The Trashadorians, we got a couple additions to the Trashadorians, that being Boca Trash and the armor herself, as well as some other things like the Dark Trooper and of course the Bad Batch and Jedi Master Kenobi. As you guys know, links will be down below in the video description if you want access to my spreadsheet. And we did some little additions here so you can see what changed since the last time we made this video. So with that said, let's go ahead, pull it up on the screen. Let me show you what we gotta talk about first, and that's unfortunately not gonna be the Carbonite tier. Not much has happened with the Carbonite tier. However, another thing that happened since the last time I made this video is Death Trooper and Gary, the Stormtrooper, got some minor reworks added to their kits. I want to kind of mention this, although nothing as much happened in the Carbonite, which is the worst tier of Zetas in the game. Gary is being bumped up to the Rhodium Tier for 2 reasons. Firstly, his Zeta added a boost of viability, mainly giving that protection up to Imperial Remnant allies. Last time we made this video, not much was happening with Imperial Remnants because really we didn't have the Dark Trooper in the mix just yet. Well, since then, some things has happened with the Death Trooper and Stormtrooper reworks. The addition of the Dark Trooper, we got some fun things happening with this team. And Stormtrooper, don't get too cocky, Gary. You're not that amazing in the game just yet, but nonetheless, not a trash tier Zeta like it used to be in the past. Other notable things I want to bring out here: I am knocking down 2 characters, mainly Ezra Bridges' Flourish and IG-88's adaptive aim algorithm. And unfortunately, not really much happening with those characters, and I feel like the Zetas on those characters are losing their touch a little bit. Very minor details I thought was worth bringing up. And lastly, what is also new to this list is we have the Bronzium Tier Zeta of Boca Trash stronger together, as you guys may know, with the armorers. She's the only one that really came out of the Mandalorian faction. That was actually decent at best. Boca Trash, unfortunately, not really bringing much viability to the Mandalorian crew just yet. So it's one of those Zetas, although new to this list, it's one of those new Zetas that didn't really entice me that much. Mandalorians, at best, mediocre. Maybe in the future it'll become a bit more viable. Of course, Bo-Katan is needed to get Jedi Master Kenobi, but there should be no reason under the sun to really get this Zeta. Mandalorians still need a lot of work, so I'll put it in bronze because yes, it is nice. But right now, when Mandalorians really are not nowhere near at least a B-grade faction, not really a lot of reason to dump resources into this team. Moving on, we have the Chromium Tier, and we got a couple things first I'm going to bring up. Although Boca Trash not really enlightening me much, I am going to bump Cander's Ordo with the addition of the Mandalorians getting a little bit more love, and Cander's Ordo getting a couple of tweaks. He is actually, if you do want to go into the Mandalorians a bit, the Zeta on I Like It Challenge is worth it if you want to play off Mandalorians. But again, I don't recommend going in on Mandalorians. Not much reason to, unless you just happen to be a Mando meathead and love them for whatever reason. Not going to complain whatsoever if that's the case. But moving on, we have a couple additions to the list, mainly Jedi Master Kenobi. We're going to start talking about the Bad Batch. Although I'm not a fan of the Mandalorians, the Bad Batch is a team worth investing in, and we see the one of the first Zetas on Jedi Master Kenobi's kit, Ardent Blade Work. This is going to be the Zeta. We will talk more in depth on Jedi Master Kenobi's Zeta order. As you know, this list also shows the order in which you should give to a character. So with the Zetas, you know, you might want to do Ardent Blade Work last on Jedi Master Kenobi. And all right, Zeta, really not much to brag about. It's just okay at best. But What is also new to this list is Tech, the Clone Interpreter. If you are going to go in the Bad Batch, this Zeta, I think you can pass. It's nice, but not necessary whatsoever. I think Chromium Tier is perfect for Tech's Clone Interpreter Zeta. Moff Gideon. Green means we're bumping it up since the last video. As I mentioned, before we did this video here, there really wasn't much going on with Imperial Remnants, and the fact of the matter is, if you're an Imperial Trooper, you got to compete with the other Imperial Trooper in the game. That thing, General Veers. Now, with the addition of Dark Trooper and the tweaks to Death Trooper and Stormtrooper, the Imperial Remnant team is at least usable. So, we bumped it up from the Bronze Tier, and Moff Gideon's tactical deployment is a good Chromium Tiers, and initial testing suggests Imperial Remnants can possibly counter Jedi Master. We have to do a lot more testing in the future, but so far it's looking pretty good for Imperial Remnants, and I think this team might have a brighter future. Maybe one more Imperial Remnant could get added to the game at some point, but nonetheless, thought it was worth bringing up because it has been bumped up since the last time we made this video. Moving on, we got the Rhodium Tier. Now, I sound like a little bit of a broken record at this point. I always tell you guys, if you're looking for Zetas, a lot of your investments should be put in the Zetas that are in the Rhodium as well as the Kyber Tier. And here we got a few new additions that are worth bringing up. Armor, earn your signet. This is an interesting one. As we know, the armor is kind of like a budget Wat-Tam Bor, and you could do some fun things. I mainly use her as the life support or the caretaker for the Sith Eternal Gucci Palpatine. A lot of fun stuff to do, although I will admit, I kind of struggled whether I should rank the armor inside of the Rhodium or the Chromium Tier for her Zeta, because she's not as good as Watts anymore, but you can pull off some really serious combos. But at the same time, it's not necessary for a lot of teams out there. But if you are someone that really wants to take your Sith Eternal to the next level, that Zeta and Earn Your Signet is really going to help, especially against the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren battles or in 3v3 situations. You cannot go wrong. Dark Trooper Bombarding Reinforcements is also new to the list, throwing it in the Rhodium Tier, the ability to regenerate stacks of Dark Trooper. I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. You want Dark Trooper to be around as long as possible. And remember, his viability is determined by how many stacks of Dark Trooper squad he has. The more the merrier, although you can't get back up to 4 if you fall below 4. Being able to get back up to 3 is still very good. You're expanding the lifespan of your Dark Trooper as long as possible. Now, let's start talking about some other bad Zetas. We talked about tech, not really necessary. One of the first, I'd say, necessary Zetas for this team is Echo One that survives, basically adding that Newt Gunray viability. There are several layers of viability that comes with the Bad Batch when it comes to their offensive or even just their capabilities in general. They're doing damage because they're getting defense up. They're doing damage because they put out big damage. They're doing damage because they're applying explosives, and they apply tons and tons of debuffs. And one that survives with Echo is doing even more damage. It's almost copy and paste of Newt Gunray's unique ability, Viceroy's Reach. So this is really going to help your Bad Batch be a lot more aggressive when it comes to their damage output. Moving on, Hunter, a different path. This is the Zeta. Everyone asks, what's the first Zeta to apply? I think Hunter, a different path, is a good way to go, because once you get that defense up, you're dealing tons and tons and tons of bonus damage. And that's really the core of the Bad Batch crew. Now, if you do not have all the Bad Batch members, don't go all in on the Hunter lead, because it really relies on having the Bad Batch members put together. But luckily, we are a few days away from getting the last member, or at least the members we have announced, free to play in Galaxy Heroes. Record was just added free to play not too long ago. Bad Batch is a top 10 team in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and I'm really looking forward to see what their future is looking like. And here is the next Zeta for Jedi Master Kenobi. I will do what I must. This Zeta, I would say, if you're going in order, this is probably the 5th Zeta you're going to want to apply to the character, hence the number 5, right next to the Zeta right there. Good Zeta. Again, there's more important Zetas, as we're going to talk about in a moment. Ideally, if you have Galactic Legends, you're going to give all the Zetas at some point. And then the last member of the Bad Batch is Dauntless Commando. This guy is extremely thick for each Bad Batch member on the team, and it helps them get to Furious a lot faster. And I think this Zeta is going to have even more future viability. If we are to assume there's a 5th Bad Batch member coming in, keep your eyes peeled. This is a Zeta waiting to get even better, but it's currently very solid. This makes Wrecker one of the thickest and most durable tanks in the game with that Dauntless Commando Zeta. And then lastly, we got to talk about the Kyber Tier Zetas. A lot of this self-explanatory, but I do want to mention one thing. We had Admiral Piet's Emperor's Trap in the Rhodium Tier. I'm bumping it up to Kyber. It is such a dang good Zeta, and the fact it is a unique ability makes this Zeta even better because it's plug and play for so many things, and virtually endless amounts of damage increases and potency increase on the team, because once that Imperial train just starts rolling, baby, this team is looking so dang good. I think this is definitely one of the best Zetas in the game. If you're focused on the Empire, you need Emperor's Trap. You can maybe argue with me it should stay in Rhodium, but I think Emperor's Trap is so dang good, and it's like one of the great things about the Zeta, because it allows you to stack your offensive and your potency output. This is gonna, in a way, future-proof the team. So as we get difficult content heading our way, Emperor's Trap is gonna help scale the stats of the team throughout the battle. And lastly, we gotta talk about on this list are the Zeta additions for Jedi Master Kenobi. Now, with Jedi Master Kenobi, again, you're gonna wanna give all the Zetas on the character. This isn't anything all that mind-blowing to tell you guys. I did mark Galactic Legend as the first Zeta to apply. This is assuming, of course, you have relics on this character. If you have no relics on Jedi Master Kenobi, no need to go for Galactic Legend because, well, you're not gonna get any benefit. However, this is definitely the best Zeta for Jedi Master Kenobi to go for first because it's making your character a lot more viable in terms of stat performances. Second on this list, we put Harmonious Will as the next Zeta to get to the sky, which is his leadership ability, and this basically is that hybrid that brings together the Bastila aspect, bringing in the Padme Amidala lead aspect, being able to get health and protection recovery and protection up. This is a Zeta. I think this is definitely one of the better leads when you look at all these Galactic Legend leads. The Harmonious Will is definitely solid. So I would go for this as number 2 because primarily, if you're fortunate to have Master Kenobi, you are going to use him to lead the charge in the battle. Hello there is going to be the third Zeta I recommend you go in for after, because this guy allows you to reset cooldowns on a target other Galactic Republic ally. And I don't think we've seen the full picture. We're waiting for Commander Ahsoka Tano to get into the game. In the next few weeks, people are going to have her unlocked, which, by the way, her Zetas are not going to be ranked for this video because no one has tested her so far in the game. But being able to reduce target ally Galactic Republic's cooldown immediately with this ability, that pulls off a lot of combos. Padme Amidala getting protection. General Anakin Skywalker doing another massive AoE damage. The list goes on and on and on with what you can pull with this Zeta right there. So highly recommend this be another Zeta you keep on your radar as one of the earlier ones possible. And the fourth Zeta on this list, we've already talked about number 5 and number 6. It's going to be May the Force be with you. Very good Zeta. This allows for a lot of interesting theory crafting potential. We showed, for example, Jedi Knight Guardian. This Zeta right here is a Zeta that doesn't need to be a number 1 priority. But as you get your Zetas, putting this at number 4, I think is the wise way to go. And then, of course, we talk about number 5 and number 6 in the earlier tiers right there. So that's going to basically wrap up the ranking system for all of the Zetas in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Now, one thing I do want to point out is I like to sometimes talk about what are my favorite Zetas in the game. And as you see right here, here's my list of 10 Zetas I've been really enjoying for the past, I guess, half a year since we made this video last. I'm not going to go too much in depth. Not saying these are the 10 best Zetas in the game overall, but these are Zetas I think are hot, trendy, and a lot of fun to use in the game. Vader's Merciless Massacre goes without saying. Emperor's Trap goes without saying. I'm a huge fan of the Babbage. I'm waiting to see if there's another piece to the puzzle that'll make him even better, which is gonna be mind-blowing. We gotta wait and see if Omega Ahana will come to the game at some point. Moff getting control of the situation. Such a great plug-and-play character. We didn't talk much about that Zeta in this video. Ki-Adi-Mundi seeing a big boost of usability with Jedi Master Kenobi in-game. I would argue almost critical to get the best Jedi Master Kenobi lineup out there. Watson board, so I gotta go into any detail. Best plug-and-play character in the game, period. Armor, the best budget plug-and-play character in a game that I'm using for a lot of fun stuff, mainly with the Sith Eternal, always using her with the Sith Eternal. And Wampa, I gotta say this, we had a little meme, we decided to relegate Wampa this past 33 Grand Arena season, and we have been having an absolute blast with this character. Not saying you should go out and get your Wampa up and running, but nonetheless, if you want to put a smile on your face, Wampa has a lot of fun with that corner beast Zeta. So I'm going to wrap up that video right here, right now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for coming by. Hopefully you're finding these videos helpful, and I can't wait to see you for the next Zeta ranking video. And let me say this, I have a feeling the next time we do this video, we're probably going to have a Lord Vader Galactic Legend by them. Stay tuned. We'll have to wait and find out. No news and specifics just yet, but I think it's just around the corner. Like if you did enjoy the video, Comment down below and all those beautiful thoughts. And be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And always remember, it's great to be in the Empire today. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Gary, Larry, somebody, roll on my outro. Jeez, I gotta do everything around here.